Hello, wonderful colleagues. This is Steve Sumner with Monday's Takeaway Teaching. Though I'm very sad not to be all together in person, I'm still really excited to share with you some CPD and some ideas over the next few weeks and indeed months. I'm presuming the excitement in your own homes may be less than mine, but I'm hoping to nonetheless go over some things that are useful. So today I just wanted to talk to you a bit about Baruch Rosenshine's Principles of Instruction. These have become very, very cogent and clear in terms of the current debates about good practice in teaching and learning. There are a lot of schools using them as a really clear framework. A lot of lesson principles, planning, organisation is using them as a structure. Increasingly in the Trust, we're looking at them more and more about how effective they are. Tom Sherrington's written recently a really good book on them, and I've shared with you also a presentation that he's done, and we've been using it to inform some of our practice. So for example, when thinking about different ways of helping pupils recall, we did a session on Monday recently where we talked about the memory building powers of narrative, and we just used different versions of the water cycle. This is actually used in Tom Bennett's book. The only thing I changed slightly was I presented 3 different diagrams of sort of increasing level of complexity. You might actually think about it, you might start off with pupils with this one, the most complex, and then see if they can add further complexity in the language and vocabulary that they do, cycling through into this one, which is less complex, and then give them nothing at all and work it from that. Or you could go the other way around, starting with simple instruction, getting them to do greater clarity as they go. So lots of opportunities there in terms of how we're thinking about those. With the principles themselves, at the moment there's obviously some things that are here that we could do really, really well, and other things that become more difficult. So for example, I think being able to use YouTube tutorials gives us a great opportunity to give clear and detailed instruction explanation to pupils. I think it gives us a really good opportunity to guide students as they begin to practice, to think aloud and model steps, and provide models of worked out problems. Those things are really clear. Along with provide many examples. Where I think things become more difficult is this response from the pupils themselves. Over time, identifying what material you need to reteach when necessary, and monitor students when they begin their independent practice of things. Obviously we have certain limitations, with the current situation. Other things we can affect and impact on, I think we can limit the amount of material students receive at one time. So at the moment, some pupils go for schools documentation will look slightly terrifying, but again it's better for them to have, I think, lots of work there than too little. But I think let's be cognizant of the fact that pupils will be getting set lots of work online, and therefore the amount we expect them to do, if we're setting them something on a sort of weekly basis, we should be thoughtful about that, and again how we're going to actually give feedback and respond to that. So whereas I think providing models already on the YouTube channel, and if I just flick to that for a moment, you can start to see there's lots of things starting to appear, and this idea of modelling I think is going to be really, really clear. Demonstration here, examples of tonal drawing. What would be helpful, could I ask people to sort of follow what Anna and myself have done in kind of labelling YouTube videos. At the moment we've only got a few up, and it's great to see these already here. Over the next few weeks we will get a lot more videos uploaded by staff, and what we'll start doing is we'll start separating these videos into playlists for each department, so it's easier for pupils to find the different things they're doing. But at this stage, certainly if you could label it with the class, the subject, the topic, and then you as the subject teacher, like myself and Anna, I think that will make it a lot clearer for pupils in terms of what they're doing. So obviously, modelling will be a big part of that, and I think we're going to do that really, really well. What I suppose I'd like your help from and thought about, and this is where the takeaway comes in, is ask a large number of questions and check for understanding. This is a real kind of classic thing in lessons anyway, the nature of the quality of questioning. How do we actually want to try and do this when we can't necessarily guarantee a response? I think when we're really up and running teams with our pupils and seeing how many of them we can engage, I think that will give us an opportunity to ask questions effectively. But even then, there's a certain artificiality there, isn't there? You can get a sense of the room and questioning and how best to do it in certain ways then and there. And whereas when you're speaking to people digitally or it's just a conversation online, it's different again. So I'd be really interested to see if we've got any teachers who can give us some feedback about how they're finding this idea of questioning, how are they managing it, the actual asking of questions as opposed to just writing them. How can we get young people and students to respond to questions which are so important to check for understanding when they're not here with us and we're not with them? There's some potential solutions. There may be some very lateral thinking that we need to do to engage with this, because I think even though we're engaged in this remote learning process, we can still deliver an awful lot of effective content. We can still start to develop our practice really effectively. I think Rosenshine's principles are a really, really useful way of doing this. I've attached this document, and you can just see about 17 pages for everyone. I think it's a really, really useful read. I think now is a perfect time to be thinking about your own pedagogy and style of teaching, and this is a very current, interesting, and at the moment much adapted and used piece of work that I think will help to develop teaching and learning at this school when we're all back in the classroom together. Most importantly, I hope everyone's safe and well. Myself, Marlo and Gabs are all absolutely fine, and I will see everyone, or some people, on Thursday morning for what I hope will be a live feed of CPD breakfast with virtual croissant, and see everyone here again next week for the next Monday night takeaway. Okay, thanks everyone, take care, bye.